So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about all these really cool artwork that you've done. Tell us your name and yeah, where you're from, how you got into this.
Well, hello. My name is
Hi.
Vanni. I'm first generation American Ecuadorian. I pride myself on working with my hands a lot. So, of course, felt to
Is
fruition. As you can see in my little logo, those are my hands.
oh,
I came up with the name, yes, as a little demonstration. I came up with the name Felted Fruition just because, of course, I work with felt, so I work with wool. And then the word fruition kind of means to bring to life. So I'll bring your ideas and your visions and your artworks to life using my hands through felt. So kind of nice little
amazing.
alliteration for you guys.
That's so cool.
I've been doing needle felting for about maybe 2 years now.
Oh wow, okay. How'd you get into it?
Boredom.
Okay, okay.
Ever since I was a little kid, I'm very grateful for my mom. She taught me a lot about, being creative and working with your hands and just the artwork in general.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I would play around with everything. So
That's so
acrylics,
cool.
oil pastels. So I started this about 2 years ago. It was during the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Of course, it was such a tragedy to live through, and I feel like a lot of people, since they had a lot of
Yeah.
free time on their hands, they needed to find new outlets.
Yeah.
My outlet was artwork, as more specifically artwork I've never done before. So I've worked with oil pastels, with acrylics, with woodworking, origami, guitar,
Everything.
everything along the
Yeah.
spectrum. But I never really played around with needle felting. Um, and once I started playing around with it, it was
Yeah.
such a combination of like painting and pottery
Yeah.
and like sculpting. I don't know, it was a whole little thing.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just fell in love with it because it was such a weird way for my brain to work.
Yeah.
Because instead of working with like at least some sort of foundation, needle felting is such like it's so thin, like
Yeah.
it's fibers, like your
Can
hair.
you tell us what needle felting is for those who don't know
Yeah.
how this even works?
Yes.
I don't know how it works to be honest, except for your not YouTube, your Instagram, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's how it's
Yes, yes.
done."
I can actually grab some wool and I
Yeah.
can show you. Hold on,
Yeah.
give me one
Yeah, yeah,
second.
that would be awesome.
Yes. So I work with sheep's wool.
Oh,
As you
that's
see
awesome.
here,
Where would you even get something like that?
you can get them across. There are different types of farms
Okay.
that, of course, as they're like shearing their sheeps,
Oh,
they turn it
wow.
into more specifically like merino wool.
Yeah.
You could get like other starter kits, but the wool just may not be as like high quality. But with
Yeah.
whatever you can get your hands
Yeah.
on, as long as you're practicing it, it's so fun. So this is what I mean that it starts off by nothing. So like if I tear off a piece,
That
it
is
just looks like a little. You can't even see. It's like a little dust
yeah.
bunny.
It's like
So from this, using a barbed needle that has like little spikes at the very bottom, kind of you would like bunch up the fiber together. Like let's say I want to turn this into a circle, you would just bunch it together in like a somewhat spherical shape.
yeah.
From there you start poking, poking it, and then it would get dense from the inside out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's what I
Okay.
mean. Like you,
You build from the inside, but you're
like
that's so cool.
yeah. That's why like I love the way that my brain works when I have any sort of needle felting project because I see the vision in my head clearly. Like I
Yeah.
like when I was making this little guy,
Look at this.
when I was making him, I saw everything in my head.
Yeah.
But I can't physically see what's going on because the density is starting from his little belly inside,
That's so
and then I have to build outwards. So it's like my brain is working in reverse somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a
No,
fascinating
that
thing.
is really cool. Do you think it's helped you in other ways? Like thinking in this way?
I think it's just helped me become more of a visionary. Yeah, because I have to be very confident in what I'm gonna make in order for it to come out the way that I want it to.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like even in the last 2 years, you're like, it's built up this sense of who you are and how you can see things just happening.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way, but
That's
yeah.
so dope. This worked.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
So yeah, it starts off by fiber, and then a few hours later and millions of pokes later, it turns into whatever piece I would like it to. I started doing this just, again, out of boredom.
Yeah.
And then I started like making little trinkets for my friends.
Yeah.
And at one point, one of my friends, their name is Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Thank you, Mel. They refused to like accept it as like a little freebie
Aw.
because they're like, no, this is too good. Like, there's no way that I'm just gonna accept this. And I'm like, no, I didn't even think about charging anyone for it. And then they're like, I'll just give you something. And then they gave me, and then I, gave them their piece, and that kind of just started the gears for me.
That's so cool.
Because I never thought my artwork would have any sort of monetary value.
Yeah.
Just because, again, it was more of a hobby. I just always grew up in the world of art.
Yeah.
That is kind of more like a love language for me. But then, just seeing the immense support that came from them, I was like, wow, maybe this might have some sort of opportunity for me here. And of course, during the pandemic, I was unemployed because I was let go due to the pandemic, of course.
Yeah.
So, the thoughts of income does, of course, creep in your mind.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was like, all right, let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
From there, I started coming off with my little mushroom earrings.
And there's some mushroom stuff here.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with mushrooms.
Yeah. They're cute.
I started advertising my pieces on Twitter.
Yeah.
And the power of social media is incredible.
That's so wait, so you start on Twitter where you're just like, this is what I did.
Well, I opened my Instagram and then Twitter at the same time.
Okay, got it.
Just because I was like, let me just throw out everything everywhere.
I love that.
And then I got a random message from a person I've never met from Florida saying that I love this one character from this one show. And they're like, I would love to commission you for it. And I just saw the message. I was like, I've never met you before. And you want to give me money?
Yeah.
And like, you want to trust me with my artwork for it? And I was just like, this is not real.
That's so cool.
But as I started chatting with them, just kind of like getting what their vision was for the art piece, I was like, okay, this is doable. This is real. This is happening. I shipped out the piece all the way to Florida. They sent me photos of it, and I just started crying.
Oh, was that your first sale? Not family, not friends.
Yeah. And I was like,
the power of that first person.
Yeah.
It
was incredible. From there, and then they also like went out of their way to request another commission for me that was even like more integrative. So of course it was a little bit more expensive.
So cool.
And I was like, yo, thank you so much.
Oh.
And then it was mainly the Jackson Heights community that kind of uplifted me. So thank you, Jackson Heights.
Yay. That's actually how I met you.
Yes.
Is through Jackson Heights. Yeah.
Because of the Queens pop-up market.
Yes. Yep.
From there, I had a lot of growth in terms of like how to price my sales, how to work on my things, how to brand myself, how to, the whole spiel.
How did you figure or navigate that whole thing?
In terms of like pop-ups?
Yeah, pop-ups or how to price, how to...
I definitely have a lot of gratitude towards John, who was running the Queens Pop-Up Market. Because
Shout out to John. We love you. And Lisa.
Oh, yes, Lisa. I thank you guys so much. Of course, I mean, I've expressed this to them before when they moved. But I think John was definitely a mentor for me because he was helping me on like, how should I market myself? How should I
He's
price my
actually
items?
He'll randomly give you advice, and it's good advice.
Yeah.
And it's genuine advice. Once I got to know him, I was like, I didn't know who he was at first, but I was like, oh, he wants us to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of gratitude towards that connection.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was mainly kind of just remembering what I learned when I did go to college. I went to FIT for fashion business management. So, of course, I took courses in marketing.
Okay.
And kind of just I had to brush off my notes and see what I can get from there.
Yeah.
And it was, a lot of just teaching myself,
Yeah.
which is something that I wasn't too like familiar with, I guess.
Yeah.
Because in my head, like I see so many opportunities,
Yeah.
but the road isn't like paved yet, and
Yeah.
and then I look down and I'm like, oh, I'm the one holding, the tools to pave this road.
Yeah.
I just have to actually start building it.
Yeah.
So that was really such a wonderful learning experience, and then from there it was kind of just
Yeah.
more practice, and you get more comfortable.
Yeah.
I will say I also know that my artwork also speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And so I'm very grateful for myself as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Like I'll post photos of my pieces, and not even with the intention of like it being sold or
Yeah.
something like that, but like I'm proud of it. I want to show it
Yeah.
off. And from there I just get a bunch of commission requests. So yeah, nice combination of all three.
That's
I think.
amazing. How do people commission you? Like, how does that process work for you?
Right now it's just through Instagram,
Okay.
DMs, or of course Twitter. I was thinking about opening a website of some sorts, but I feel like I enjoy that more organic
Yeah.
like connection
Yeah.
when it comes to just like messaging someone through
Yeah.
direct message.
I think that's cool that you say that because people get so nervous to make stuff without a website and they keep concentrating on the website. But what you've done is you're just like, I want to actually talk to people.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Also another thing, I don't know how to build a website. So
Yeah.
but
Fair,
also I
fair.
figured, I use Instagram as my portfolio.
Yeah.
Just because it's so accessible. It's less.
Yes.
It's one less click.
Yes. Yep.
So it's right there in your face. You see everything you want. Of course, my things are very brightly, vividly colored. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's also another like
Yeah.
nice marketing tactic.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see my Instagram page. The message button is right there, and then anyone can kind of message and
That's
request
awesome.
a piece from me.
Yeah.
And from there, I usually build nice like connections, or I still have the first person that I commissioned with. Like we are still like following each other. We still check in on each other sometimes.
Oh, I love that.
So it's been really nice to like
Yeah.
build a very tiny community.
Yeah.
I'm very
That's
happy.
amazing. And have you done any pop-ups or are you having something that's coming up?
I had to step back from pop-ups. It's kind of like a bittersweet feeling just because I miss the experience of it, but of course I needed more consistency when it came
Yeah.
to finances, so I had to
Yeah.
get like a full big girl job and stuff.
That's fine. Yeah.
Of course, very grateful on that as well.
Yeah.
But it's a struggle to find balance for both, pop-ups, which is very time consuming
Yes.
and energy consuming
Yes.
as well.
Yep.
And then balancing a full 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So right now I've kind of just been behind the scenes. I was part of an art collective.
Oh, cool.
So instead of being the one in the pop-ups, I'm now the one running the pop-ups.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
So I
Cool,
was
cool.
event coordinator and marketing manager for them. But that is also on a hiatus right now. But even then,
Yeah.
that was such a learning experience as well. Because
Yeah.
now I got to see like the whole world of the pop-ups like community.
Yeah.
Not only from like a selling standpoint, but now from a
An
curating,
operation. Yeah.
operations.
Yeah.
So that was also a really wonderful experience. I am still taking commissions, of course, but now it's been like one every 2 months, 3 months, whenever I do have time to manage it.
Yeah.
But I very much miss
Yeah.
being in my artwork
Yeah.
full time.
How do you? So another question a lot of people have is they have a 9 to 5. So how do you actually incorporate this into your life? Do you use, I guess, do you use commissions as a way? Do you just do it for fun every, once every week, every month? Like, what does that look like for you?
Since I started, a full-time job, and then I also have another job, so I'm working 2 jobs.
Oh no! Okay.
I'm very grateful, of course.
Yeah.
My last piece that I did was for fun. I did a beret for myself for Arctic Monkeys because I went to the Arctic Monkeys concert.
Oh, I love that.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't going to splurge. I mean, I love them, but I wasn't going to splurge on their
Yeah.
merch. So I was like,
Yeah.
let me just make it because I have
Yeah.
the capabilities to make
Yeah.
it. So I have. So I made a beret for myself. And that was so nostalgic, even though it's so silly to stay nostalgic because,
Yeah.
you know, I was just doing this like full time about like 2 years ago. So it's like nostalgic, but like not nostalgic because it still feels pretty recent to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But I had the free time, so like I did my beret. I even made content for it, and like setting up the camera and like editing. I was like, I miss this so much.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a lot of like, yeah, I'll do trinkets for myself just because I know it's important to indulge in your artwork
Yeah.
for yourself as well.
For sure.
And now I am speaking with someone for a commission for the holidays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to find more time in my schedule so I can, you know, get back into this.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it was such an important part of my life and kind of finding a purpose for myself.
Yeah.
So very looking into that again.
I love that. Could you share that purpose that you had for yourself when you did this?
Well, this kind of goes all the way back. I always envied the people in elementary school or in high school, middle school that were like, I want to be XYZ. And like, for example, like I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Like there's a direct path for
Yeah.
you when it comes to that, right?
Yeah.
But I would always have these conversations with my friends growing up and I'm like, I don't know what I want to be.
Yeah.
And it can get really in your head because you're like, is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
Am I missing something? Why is it that one person already has a direction for their life and I'm still, you know, like confused about all, or like I
Yeah.
like too many things and I
Yeah.
don't want to choose just one thing.
Yeah.
And of course, because I already grew up in the art world, I never really considered it as like a full career of some
Right.
sorts. I always figured like, oh, it's just a hobby. Or
Right.
it's just like something that I do whenever I have the free time
Yeah.
for it. So when I started, I guess like my small business, even though
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like,
I think it's a small business. It's a business for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when I started that, I was like, wait, I love this.
Yeah.
I love being the one behind the scenes and in front of the scenes
Yeah.
and where all the scenes are. Like, it was just so fulfilling to meet people and then tell me their ideas and then I presented them and then their reaction is just like the best gift in the world to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, this is what I want. I want this.
Yeah.
But of course, it's just tricky because I feel like you have to be very lucky and very privileged and just good timing, lucky timing
Yeah.
for your artwork to kind of kick off and have it be of you know,
Yeah.
a consistent thing of finances for you.
Yeah.
But I still didn't let that stop me.
Yeah.
And even now, you know, now that I do have a full big girl job,
Yeah.
I don't want to give this up.
No,
Just
you
'cause-
definitely shouldn't.
Yeah.
I love, it makes me happy when I look at your Instagram feed. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. Like, it makes people happy because I think with everything going on, like you always have this page where you're like, this is nice. This is like, it's beautiful. Or even if it's not, you know, like I think that's beautiful, but
My
it's,
spooky little-
yeah. So this is a funny juxtaposition
Yes, it
between the two. So I love that you do that.
Thank you. I'm very, just in love with my artwork.
Yeah.
And I think that's also helped me like fall in love with myself as well. Because you know, people be sad sometimes. I'd be sad
Yeah.
sometimes. And you know, like physically seeing the love that I can make and then falling in love with the artwork that I make. And I'm like, it's just like a cycle of love.
Yeah. No, I love
Myself.
that. Yeah.
So very happy.
That's awesome. If someone were saying what you were saying, like feeling a little bit like purposeless in their life, like how would you advise them? Because I think there's a lot of folks out there like that. Yeah.
I feel like I have such a niche answer,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the only one that I can relate to.
That's also that's fair.
I think just kind of going back to your childhood and remembering
Yes.
what made you happy.
Yeah.
Even if in your mind you think it's so like small or
Yeah.
insignificant, like no, it made you happy at a very important part of your life.
Yeah.
So what was it? What made you happy?
I love that.
And then is there an opportunity for you to kind of get back into it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Or if it's the answer is no, then like what about made you happy can you find either a parallel to that you can work
Yeah.
into now? Yeah, I think because for me, this artwork I think has been part of my healing journey when it comes to healing in my inner child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that you said that. No, it's so funny because like I randomly get messages. Did some posts because I work with people who already kind of know what they want to do, and then we just take it to the next level. But recently, I posted something up, and someone was like, "I was having a hard time figuring out what I'm passionate or good at," and I'm like, "Oh." But I love that advice where you're like, "Think about your childhood. Think about that." Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just because, yeah, like as a child, you like a hobby and, you know, you don't really think of it. But now that you're a grown adult, you have different tools that you can enjoy your hobby as a kid in a whole
Yeah.
different level.
Yes.
So that's been really fulfilling for me. But I understand that feeling of like, yeah, not feeling like you have a purpose or like you have
Yeah.
a path in your life. You forget that you can create it for yourself.
Oh.
And this is my version of creating my path for myself. And it's a decision I'll never regret. I love it.
I love it too. Well, thank you so much. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram. It's Felted Fruition, FELTED Fruit ION, or on Twitter as well, but mainly Instagram. Find me on Instagram.
Yay. And you're taking commissions now.
Yes, if you have an idea for a loved one, a family member, your pet, your grandma, peepaw, and you can't find it in stores, let me make it for you. I will make it for you exactly how you want it to. I got you.
I love it. What's your favorite piece, actually? I know you said mushrooms.
Let me show off. My
Oh,
little
yes,
baby.
this one. Okay.
I have a little mobile.
This is for sale.
It is for sale. My little baby.
So cute.
Everything's nice and made. My little bee there. I just love him so much. It's just so cute.
I love it too. Awesome.
Yeah. Or my mushrooms. I love my mushrooms. Thank you so much for
Yay,
this.
thank you. Also, random question. I don't know if I'll stick it in there. How is it like, just out of curiosity? So you're Ecuadorian American. How is that like for your family? Like seeing you do this.
Ooh. I mean, how deep do you want to get? I mean, I started off introducing myself saying that I'm a proud Ecuadorian American. It was so nerve-wracking getting into this business because I felt as though being first generation American, there are certain expectations
Yeah.
that, you know, sometimes the parents put on you. In my case, I'm very blessed that my parents didn't put on me.
Yeah.
You know, their sole purpose for immigrating to the States was just to have a better life.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much like, because I've heard stories where people come here with the expectation that their child is kind of not going to save them, but, you know, build a path for a different life.
Yeah. For
My
their
parents-
family and their legacy. Yeah.
which is a beautiful,
Yes.
courageous
Yeah.
lifestyle to get into, but it can be very hard.
Yeah.
My parents, they immigrated here just with the sole purpose of just having a different life from what they had in Ecuador.
Yeah.
But, you know, hearing other people's first generation stories when they're told like, oh yeah, I want to do XYZ in the name of my parents, that's when I started getting really insecure about myself, because I'm like, here I am not knowing what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
Like, did my parents come here for no reason?
Yeah. That pressure.
This pressure is just something I put on myself for
Yeah.
absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
This wasn't anything by my parents.
Yeah.
It was just more like, I can't even fathom the sacrifices that they had to do.
You're making me cry.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even fathom what they had to like sacrifice and give up
Yeah.
just to come here. And then I feel silly because I'm like, I don't even know what I can
Yeah.
do to repay them. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
So when I started this, it was kind of nerve-wracking because I'm like, I know it's not a college degree. I
Yes.
know.
Because you went to FIT. They're like, we sent you to FIT. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I even kind of dropped out of FIT.
Oh, it's all good.
But like, yeah, it's emotional because I'm like, I'm sorry that you kind of came here for no reason.
I know.
And it's hurtful, but it's like, again, they didn't do this to me. This was just like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you had to sacrifice so much.
No, because I can relate.
Yeah. And I'm sorry that I can't give you the life that I wish I could give you. This
Oh
is just
my
gonna be
God.
us crying.
It's okay.
But I thank you so much for, giving me a life that I can have the privilege and the luxury to
Yes.
indulge in my artwork, and this is me doing it. So when I first got like a full commission, from Florida, they were like surprised. They're like, wait, what? You don't know this person? I'm like, no, they just
Yeah.
messaged me.
Yeah.
And they're like, how much did they give you? I'm like, a good amount.
Yeah.
They're like, what? And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. So whenever there's like Mother's Day or like my mom's birthday or like, my dad's birthday or whatever, in the cards that I give them, I'm always like, thank you for showing me art.
Yeah.
Because this has saved me in ways that I couldn't even think.
Yeah.
And then when I had my pop-up, like my first pop-up, I wanted to cry when they came.
Oh.
Because it was kind of felt like, look at me, I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
I felt the same way too. Yeah, I started crying. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like you resort back to like being a little kid when like you have like a crappy little like noodle
Yeah.
and like glue
Yeah.
on paper, and they're like, I love it.
Yeah.
And then you see it on their fridge and you're
Yeah.
like, yay, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
my God.
So when they came to my pop-up, I was like, I hope this makes you happy.
Yeah.
And their support has been so incredible. Like my dad, like he bought this little like I don't know, like $2 little crate for me. Or like my brother, he was also helping me like with making my business cards. Like my first business cards were just like cardboard, like
Yeah.
not cardboard,
It's like poster board or
yeah, kind of whatever.
A thick paper.
Yeah. And then seeing my sister like just share my artwork on her Instagram, or my dad got me an interview with New York 1 Noticias.
Oh.
And that was such a incredible like bucket of love. I don't know, because I was
that's
like,
so cool.
you want to show off my artwork to New York 1 Noticias? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So it's just been such a beautiful experience. Kind of just I don't know. I don't want to say proving myself, but it's just more of like, I don't even know. It's just an incredible bonding experience, I guess, for my family and I.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I inspired my sister, even though she hasn't said it yet, but I know it is. Because now my sister and my mom are in the pop-up industry as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My mom and my sister, they bring my grandma's recipes because my grandma lives in Ecuador. And of course, we're not going to have her travel all the way here. She
Nope.
deserves to live comfortably. We're going to keep her and have her in Ecuador.
Yeah.
But we can bring in her recipes. And so now my mom and my sister, they are called Seasoned with Love.
I love that. You can tell them where can they find them?
On Instagram. They are doing pop-ups all over Queens. Yes. So if you ever want to try the most incredible Ecuadorian goodies,
oh my God,
Seasoned with Love has got you.
That's amazing.
But now they're in the pop-up industry, and it just makes me so happy because I'm like, I did that.
You did. You spurred it for them.
I definitely think I showed them how incredible and how genuine and how positive being in pop-ups and like creating your own brand can be.
Yeah.
Because it's such a different path for that, not stereotype, but like that expectation of like what people, like what children of immigrants has to do.
Yeah.
You know. But now my older sister, she's running her own business now because of the pop-up industry. And then, you know, I kind of backtracked a little bit, but I still have it, you know, with me here. So it's just been a learning experience for everyone, such a bonding experience. Like everyone in the family is now
An entrepreneur,
yeah,
really.
yeah. It's been I think it's been more of a learning experience for my mom because I think my mom grew up very old school.
Yeah.
So, you know, like old school being in the sense like you have to go to college, you have
Yeah.
to graduate, you have to have like a full on like career in that sense. But, you know, having me and my sister in the pop-up industry, I think we kind of opened her eyes of like there's different meanings of success.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it's just been incredible working with my family, and I'm so proud of us and I'm so proud of her. It's just been just so wonderful. I'm so happy.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you. All right.
Sorry we're crying.
Yeah.
I'm a Pisces, I cry a lot.
I
My
think
bad.
we're gonna have some crying images. Well, thank you, Vanni. I really like this. This is amazing. I love this.
Thank you so much for your time.
you.